Hello friends, welcome to the Ultimate Law Associates. This is the second part of the Sale of Goods Act 1930, Act number 3 of 1930. Let's start. First question is, what is the contract of sale of goods? Answer: it is a contract where the seller transfers or agrees to transfer the property in goods to buyer for a price. This is called contract of sale of goods. Next question. A contract of sale may be absolute or conditional under section 4 clause 2. Next question. Agreement to sell is an executory contract which is future related. Next, an agreement to sell creates a jus in personam, which means against a person. Next, contract of sale is an executed contract. Next question, contract of sale creates a jus in rem, which means against the whole world. Next, when can an agreement to sell becomes a sale? When the time elapses or the conditions are fulfilled, the agreement to sell becomes a sale. Next question, how does the contract of sale may be made? The answer is in writing or by word of mouth, or partly in writing and partly by word of mouth, or may be implied from the conduct of the parties. Next question, existing or future goods are mentioned under which section? Existing or future goods are mentioned under section 6. Next question, goods perishing before making of contract under section 7 is called void. Next question, section 8 is applicable to what kind of goods? Section 8 is applicable of specific goods. Next, the rules related to the ascertainment of price are provided under which section? The rule related to the ascertainment of price are provided under section 9. Next question, when the time is taken as a condition for the performance of the contract of sale? When time is essence of contract. Next, if the goods are ascertainment, then the contract is called an agreement to sell. Next question, conditions and warranties are mentioned under which section? Conditions and warranties are mentioned under section 12. Next question, conditions are defined under which section? Conditions are defined under section 12 clause 2. Next, a ... is a stipulation essential to the main purpose of the contract. Fill in the blanks. A condition is a stipulation essential to the main purpose of the contract. Next, if there is a breach of the condition under section 12 clause 2, it gives rise to a right to treat the contract as repudiated. Next question, warranty is defined under which section? Warranty is defined under section 12 clause 3. A ... is a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract. Fill in the blanks. A warranty is a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract. Next question, a condition is a stipulation to the main purpose of the contract. Fill in the blanks. A condition is a stipulation essential to the main purpose of the contract. Next, warranty is a stipulation ... to the main purpose of the contract. A warranty is a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract. Next, if there is the breach of warranty, it gives rise to claim for damages. Next, can it give right to reject the goods and treat the contract as repudiated? Answer is no. Next, whether a stipulation in a contract of sale under section 12 clause 4 is a condition or a warranty. It depends in each case on the construction the contract. Implied condition on the part of the seller is mentioned under which section? Implied condition on the part of the seller is mentioned under section 14 clause A. Next, an implied warranty that the goods shall be free from any charge or encumbrance in favor of any third party not declared or known to the buyer before or at the time when the contract is made is mentioned under which section? Section 14 clause C. Next, where there is a contract of the sale of goods by description, this is an implied condition. Next, implied condition as to qualify or fitness is mentioned under which section? Under section 16. The rule of caveat emptor is given under which section? The rule of caveat emptor is given under section 16. What is the rule to caveat emptor? The rule of caveat emptor is to let buyer be aware. Next, whether under the doctrine of caveat emptor can the seller is responsible for the bad selection of goods by the buyer? Answer is no. The rule of caveat emptor does not apply in what type of cases? The cases is answer first, fitness for buyer's purpose. Second, uses of trade or consent by fraud. Third, sale under a patent or trade name. Next question, what is merchantable quality of goods? Answer, it means that the goods are free from latent defect, that the goods are marketable at their full value, that the goods can be used for the purpose for which they are bought by product person. Next, sale by sample is mentioned under which section? Sale by sample is mentioned under section 17. Next, in the case of contract for sale by sample, what kind of condition it is called? It is called an implied condition. So that's all for today. Thank you.